It is my pleasure to warmly welcome you all to today's CIC Masterclass on Leadership Beyond Technology, the AI Advantage. A very warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Mithila Abeysekera. We also warmly welcome our directors, Mr. Abeysekera and Mr. Suresh Gunasekara, our CEO, Mr. Nishant Selvakutyarachi, our heads of faculties, academic staff members, members of the sales and marketing team, and to all our participants here today, thank you for joining us. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Mithila Abeysekera, Chief Technology and Digital Officer at First Capital Holdings PLC, one of Sri Lanka's leading investment banking and capital market groups. Mr. Mithila brings over 21 years of experience in financial service technology, having risen from a software engineer to C-suite leadership across institutions, including Sampat Bank, Nation Trust Bank, and Union Bank of Colombo. Along the way, he's delivered some genuine industry firsts. For example, Sri Lanka's first AI-powered customer onboarding avatar, an award-winning WhatsApp transacting platform that earned the NBQSA National ICT Gold Award. He holds an MBA from the Australian Institute of Business and a first-class honours degree in Business Information Systems from the University of Greenwich and is currently completing his DBA. Beyond technology, standing at a mammoth 6'4", Mithila is also captain Sri Lanka's national youth basketball team. So today, we both have an AI evangelist and a former national athlete on stage. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mithila Abeysekera.
Good introduction about myself, so I'll skip this slide. So what we will cover today? So we will try to cover at a basic level or maybe a little bit higher level about AI. So if some AI tech geek comes and tells you certain things, that you'll be able to converse with the person and say, so and so, yes, I know these things, etc., etc., rather than like looking like you don't know anything at all about AI. So that plus one of my favorite topics, leadership. So what are the leadership qualities that you need to inculcate into yourself? So I believe the future is there for the person who knows tech and also has the leadership qualities. So both of these are very important. This is my personal view, but I believe that is the way forward. Especially I heard that more than 50% of the students are into tech. So especially for you guys, it will be advantageous. And for the non-tech team also, you should know at least the basics of AI going forward, because it's going to be here. It's not going to go away.
The first revolution replaced muscle. The second replaced manual production. The third digitized information. The fourth augments human intelligence.
So yes, we are coming into the fourth revolution. So the first revolution got the steam power. So steam engine, factories, railways, so 1700s. And then you come into electricity. So where the assembly line started, mass production started. So this is where the hardware was like the king, the production was focused. And then came the computer and the internet. That is where kind of like my generation, where internet came to be. And now AI and technology. I believe most of you are born into that kind of a environment, this fourth revolution. So by the time you are getting out of the campus, you will be in the AI race. And this is the speed of technology changing. So you can see the speed. So this is where the personal computer came. So you can see after personal computer how fast the things are moving. That's why I even said you can't actually say you are AI expert, because 7 days from the day you make the statement, you're outdated. So you have to keep up with AI, at least know the basics. So this is the speed of technology changing. So there's a special thing like even in basketball, what we learned, you have to learn and you have to learn how to unlearn, because some of the things you learn might not be relevant or might not be applicable in the future. So even though you learn a certain skill set, don't fix into that skill set. Learn to unlearn and learn the new thing and move on. because technology is moving so fast. Don't grab into, for example, for a software engineer, don't grab into one software development tool or one software development coding style. Try to learn much and move along, but don't go too deep into any of the things because the technology is moving so fast. So you are coming into entering a workforce mid-transformational. So basically, school, university, so AI already reshaping your research, writing, problem solving. So we'll come to that in the latest slides on accelerating your learning through AI. And first job. So when you come into the first job, so today you're thinking, okay, 3 years, 2 years down the line, I'm going to get the degree, I'm going to get a job. But that job might not be, I mean, like in Sri Lanka, yes, of course. But if you are planning to travel abroad and get a job there, in 2-3 years' time, that job might not be there. That job might be automated. So I'll showcase what are the skills you need to develop to at least AI proof to a certain level of your career. Because don't think that today, since there's a huge job market there, that it would not be replaced by AI. Most of the jobs are going to be replaced or maybe changed or modified. So I'll walk you through those. So don't worry. I'll walk you through what are the skill sets you need to have when you come out of the your education. So also in the career growth, in the future, the person who will excel the fastest will be the person who will leverage on AI, not the person who would keep a blind eye on AI, but the person who will leverage it. So you can see these are the top companies in the world. So all the names, as you can see, all the names are either AI or making AI chips or AI products or using AI heavily. So you can see where the world is heading. So most of the companies in the world, these are the top 10. So you can see all of them are AI based. So that gives a lot of idea into where the world is heading. But if you take the Colombo Stock Exchange, it's a different story. But world level, this is what is happening outside of Sri Lanka. So people are investing, buying shares because most of the people in the world believe that AI and technology is the future. So don't ignore the signs. So I'll just play a simple video because some of the statements that I might say might bring a smile to your face and you might say, think like it cannot happen. It will not happen. But this is something that happened in 2007 where the Microsoft CEO made a statement on Apple.
All that.
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine. Now, it may sell very well or not. We have our strategy. We've got great Windows mobile devices in the market today. Right now, we're selling millions and millions and millions of phones a year. Apple is selling 0 phones a year. In 6 months, they'll have the most expensive phone by far ever in the marketplace. And let's see, what's the expression? Let's see how the competition goes.
So coming to the present. So this is what happened after those statements. Microsoft closed shop in 2017. They closed their device creation. 2025 alone, Apple sold 247 million devices. Microsoft, in their whole estimated total was about 30 million units. So that is what happens when you don't move with technology and you believe that what you have currently is the best solution. So this is a fun quiz I'm going to ask because you guys are all youngsters. Who would like to have an AI companion? Raise of hands. An AI companion? Someone to help you with daily work, anything to question. I have an AI companion. I have the ChatGPT. Sometimes my wife asks, who are you talking with? I'm saying, no, I'm talking with ChatGPT. Because it's a woman voice trying to tell to change it to male voice. She's like confused. You know, this guy is always talking to this woman, asking so many questions, and she's always so polite. You know, who do you want a polite companion? Do you want one? Anyone? I want one. For work purposes? 1, 2, 3, okay. Let's look at this video and then I'll ask the same question.
Your next girlfriend might not be human, and China just started selling her. China's UB Tech has opened pre-orders for what it calls the world's first full-size ultra-bionic humanoid robot built for emotional companionship. It comes in male and female versions, standing up to 6 feet tall with 88 motion points that let it move in a much more natural way. The robot connects to Wi-Fi, supports wireless charging, and runs for roughly 2 to 4 hours per charge. Buyers can reserve one now with a deposit before its official launch on June 30th. Would you actually welcome a life-sized robot partner into your home?
Okay, guys, do you want AI companion? Girls, a Korean model? I know you are raising hands inside here, but you're afraid to raise it now. So definitely, if you take a mind map, this would be the case. Everybody would have raised hands. I know deep down you would love to have one. So, jokes apart, what if that same companion start taking over your jobs? Because, you know, like now they sell for companionship and to support and all those stuff, because that model might not be so trained to do a job that you are currently doing. But with the models getting trained and groomed so fast, most probably they could replace you. For example, even at McDonald's, taking a burger order and delivering that chip packet to the car, basically that model can do easily. And the people will line up because it's a very, very cute model serving you to the table. You know, the American Hooters style of people, waitresses, the guys who line up to get into those kind of restaurants, you know. So they would eventually get into your job space. So that is something you need to keep focus on. And so this is Optimus. So previously it was a joke, and when it came out, a guy wearing a white color kit came and dancing, and it was a whole joke. After like few years, now Elon Musk is so serious about Optimus that he plans to send Optimus to Mars as the first settlers to Mars. So that is his vision for Optimus. And this is a statement that he has made about Optimus on replacing doctors.
When do you think Optimus will be a better surgeon than the best surgeons? How long for that?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, that's
3 years. 3 years at scale.
Yes. All of a sudden,
there'll probably be more Optimus robots that are great surgeons than there are all surgeons on Earth.
But that's an important statement in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
Because medicine, I mean,
I'm not like absolutely certain, but I'd say if you say like 4 years, I'd be absolutely
If it's 4 or 5 years, who cares?
Extreme precision.
Yes.
3 years. Yes. Better than any, probably, I'd say if you like put a little margin on it, better than any human in 4 years. By 5 years, it's not even close.
I think your point was medicine is going to be effectively free. The best medicine in the world.
Everyone will have access to medical care that is better than what the president receives right now.
So don't go to medical school.
Yes, pointless. Yeah. I mean, unless you, but I would say that applies to any form of education. It's not like some, I do it for social reasons.
Yeah.
You're not going to medical school. If you want to hang out with like-minded people, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that's what his opinion is about education as a whole itself. So what he's envisioning is like in the future, you are actually, for me also, you are prompt away from being a genius. Like in this audience, if anybody asks me any question and if you give me 30 seconds, I'll give you a superb answer on any topic. Because you have the GPT, you have the Copilot, you have the Claude, if you know how to use any of the models related to the question, you can give a superb answer. So knowledge is not something that you must have, but how to use AI is something that is very important. That is something you have to always keep in mind. We'll come to that. So we'll come to how to AI proof your job. So before that, I'll just take you through the very basics of AI. I will not go deep into or try to confuse you or make the session dull. So I'll just briefly go through certain things. I think the session is on FB, and you can go back home and even replay and find out the things we talked about. Just even if you miss these things, just go through the topics that I'm talking. I know for me, because I know it, I can quickly deliver, but for you, it might be a bit too much right now. But I'm telling this because you will hear these words and you will remember to look into these words. So what does AI mean to you? So anyone in the audience, what does AI mean to you?
Right now, everything. It does everything.
Okay.
For me. It's everything. Support for everything.
Got it. So generally, the vibe is that it could do everything. It could replace everything. So I think that is what is scaring us as well. It scares me as well. So it could replace everyone, but not yet. There are certain aspects that AI cannot do. I'll go through that, thankfully. So yes, I think everybody feels that. Everybody has that scared inside of ourselves. But sometimes you are like blessed to be in a country like Sri Lanka, which is not so developed. If you are in America or like that kind of a country, you should be dead scared. In 2-3 years time, you don't know what will happen. So ABCs of AI. So we'll focus on the technology side. So don't try to lead everything. Just I'm trying to say what is AI. So AI is a technology, usually software, that learns from data, identifies pattern, and uses prediction. So basically, it's like a thing that learns from data, identifies patterns, and then predicts. So basically, that is top level. If you ask AI, that is top level basic AI. So what are the examples? So spam filters, Netflix. If you're watching, those who have Netflix with you guys, so the recommendations, all those things are coming through AI. So they have these algorithms running. And face unlocks on your phones even. So there's a small AI component running in the backend. So basically you have interacted with AI, but only with the recent ChatGPT and all those prompting models, the topic came to light. But previously also AI was there. So you have the AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So I will not go so deep into these things. Basically, machine learning is something that you teach the language about data, and the language understands about what you are describing, and then it understands itself what you're describing, and then it changes the weights according to the things you are telling. I'll go to that slide later on. So models. When I was growing up, that's models. Those are the models when I was growing up. So now these are the models. So yeah. So now we don't call these models, we call these models Llama, Mistral, Cohen, Gemini. So those are the models that most of the guys are now interested in. So why? What is the change? So large language models. So large language models does prediction. So it's like, let's say you take a baby and you teach this. Anybody who has watched the Matrix? Nobody has watched Matrix? You should watch Matrix. So in Matrix, if you want to learn something, you plug a pin into your head, all the data gets downloaded into your head. I think it will be a reality soon as well. In Matrix, that's what happens. If you want to learn, you put the disk, you upload the data, then you know everything. So if you get a baby and you input the baby with so much of data and say this is this and that, it understands and it could predict. Let's say you teach the baby all the things you know, and then you say, I'm going to say a word and guess what the next word is. It will guess because it has the knowledge. So basically, LLM is something like that, where you train raw data into training. So the training, then the model is created, and then the model predicts. So this is a deep learning. So deep learning needs more than basic machine learning. It's where the model understands patterns, and then the model understands whether it's a cat or it's not a cat, and then it adjusts and repeats itself. So it fine-tunes itself. So this is, don't try to read everything. So this is basically about LLMs. So large language models. So when you look at large language models, let's say ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, those kind of models which are hosted at their premise, in their clouds, in their computers, those are the models that are very large models, because large models needs GPU. Like back in the days when we play games, we used to have, like when we want to play Need for Speed. When Need for Speed 2 and 3 came, we need to have the graphics card. So we always go to Unity Plaza and buy the latest graphic card from NVIDIA, which is the most valued company right now in the world. So same graphics card technology apparently is used to run AI. Right now, the same technology is being replicated to run AI, because AI runs better on these graphic cards. And NVIDIA had been in the business and they didn't knew actually a use case. But Jensen came, turned around the company, twisting the games format into AI chip business. So these big models are very large models, are running at their premise. But the beauty is small models, like 1 to 3 billion parameters. So parameters, I'll come to those terms. So parameters are the points where you keep memory. For example, let's say you are given 100 slots to keep some kind of a memory. Books. So 100 slots to keep 100 books. So there's a limitation on that to keep the data in a certain way. But these are very huge areas where you can keep vast areas of data stored in a proper way, where you can retrieve very fast. So bigger the model, better the answers, but higher the cost because you need more power to run. But smaller models you can run even on laptops. So I have posted one video on my LinkedIn as well. So I made a AI call center which runs on the laptop. There's a small lag, but yes, you can develop with small, like 8 billion parameter model where the AI could run. And one more thing, I'm just telling these things for just common sense, for common knowledge. Even if you don't understand, it's okay. Just try to grab whatever you can understand. So when you have the models, you have a context window. So if the model is big, the context window is large. It means you can input a lot of data and get an output of a better quality, because let's say it's like a number of text that you can input and get output of. Smaller the model, the context window is even smaller. So the answers would not be that much defined as the larger models. So these are the few words that you might hear when you're talking with AI, or maybe in the future. Or maybe even if you go to a job interview, which is a bit technical, you can use some of these jargons, even if you know 50% of them. You can look like an AI guy or AI guru. If they, like most of the people who are going to interview you is like more than 50 plus. So they might not be AI versed. So you can still get away with using some of these words. But I'm not encouraging, I'm encouraging you to learn the real meaning of these words. So algorithms, a set of steps computer follow to solve problems. So I think you are familiar with that word algorithms. So that is the steps you need to follow to get a certain thing done. Data set, of course, is the data that you are going to process. And then neural network, a pattern matching structure loosely inspired by the brain. So neural network is one thing that the deep learning, in the deep learning section is there. Neural network, for example, you know how the brain is made out of so much of billions of neurons. So LLM has similar kind of a structure made inside the LLM where when you put data, the data goes through, like the data going through our heads in the billions of neurons when it travels from one node to another node. Similarly, this neural network, the data travels, and that's how the model learns. So that is what neural network is. And then parameters are the parameters where you have inside the model, you have tweakers where the more data you feed, the parameters get tweaked. And you have to tweak the parameters in a way where you feel like the model is giving good answers. For example, the people at OpenAI, when they train the model, they train and they tweak the parameters in a way that they feel that the model is working properly. So that is how you tweak the parameters. Then, of course, the tokens. So this is what I call the token window, because you use tokens. For example, even if the LLM model is hosted outside or on your laptop, it talks with tokens. So for example, you are sending some stuff which are called tokens. For example, if you say hello, that will convert into one token. So likewise, a whole set of text lines will convert into number of tokens, and the tokens will be sent in, and the tokens will be sent out, and then converted to words. So those are the tokens. Then prompt, of course, you already know. You have prompted already on any AI. That's the prompt. Fine tuning is something which is smaller than tuning parameters, where you tune for a certain aspect. For example, you tune the model only for, let's say, for example, medicine recommendation of medicine. Likewise, you tune to only that parameter, that is fine tuning. And hallucination. This is something very important. Sometimes AI models hallucinate. For example, the AI model could say Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in Mars. Sometimes it hallucinates because when it predicts in a numerical way where the best possibility word is picked. Sometimes, because of the way the parameters are set, sometimes the wrong words comes through. Then the prediction word is wrong. That's where you see hallucination happening. Training and context of training, as I said, training is done once. So models get trained once because you need a lot of computing power. Because it needs a lot of energy to train these models. After you train, you have a good model where you prompt. So after you get the model, you can prompt, because it's like you have Einstein, who has been created by feeding in a lot of data. So something I saw today, a lot of AI companies are now buying books. They are buying books to scan and destroy. So Anthropic is also doing that. So they want to get all the knowledge which were there on a physical form, now in a digital form. So when you fast scan, you can't save the book. So book gets destroyed, digitized, and fed into the AI as knowledge. So that is the future. So all the books, I don't think a human could finish off reading certain number of books, but now the future is they're feeding all the information into the models. So what is AI good at? So AI is good at spotting patterns, as I said, patterns in huge amount of data, summarizing long text quickly, drafting the first version of almost anything. So you can draft, work relentlessly 24/7. So that is another aspect where you talk about AI agents. For example, I was just talking today with the directors about AI call center. It runs 24/7. It's not like a human works from 8 to 5. It's a 24/7 AI call center where the AI works 24/7. So there is another huge barrier that they're going to break through on working 24/7. What it's not good at, this is the interesting part. So through understanding of common sense, sometimes the AI cannot understand common sense. So if you say it might not understand if the coffee cup is hot, it might burn the hand. So that kind of things, AI is still not so good at. And judgment calls with real human consequences. So because sometimes the AI might logically think and say, you do this is correct, this is wrong. But you knowing the person, knowing the background of the person, where he's coming from, and the environment, and what has happened, and the PR you have, and the value of that person in the future. So those kind of things, judgment, that is a human aspect which will be remaining forever, because that kind of judgment AI is not still capable of, because the only thing I see is that as a human, you have so many peripheral devices that the brain can access data into. You can hear, see, feel, and sometimes you have intuition, like when your best friend does like something like this, you say, yes, she's like pissed off. But for AI to understand like that kind of a gesture, it will take some time to understand, yes, that is my best friend. When she does like this, she is pissed off. So that kind of judgment calling, still AI is not good at. And knowing for certain when it's wrong. So same thing, and caring about outcomes. So AI does not feel empathy, shared your goals. So basically being empathetic. So how it feels for me, how it feels for you. So AI might not be empathetic because it's guessing the next word. But sometimes when the models are getting better and better, the output is so different that you might not feel a difference. Because 2 weeks back, I was having a chat on my way to office, and actually before I ended the conversation with the GPT, I said thank you. I know it's kind of like a lame thing to do, because I know it's guessing the next word and conversing with me, but I said thank you because I felt very close to I was talking to a person. And the beauty of these frontier models is they, even though they don't tell you, they remember how you have talked to them. For example, I was asking a question today about this presentation, and he said, the model said, we have discussing about on-prem devices like this, etc., and back in the days you were talking like this. Because of that, I'm giving an answer like this. So even though they don't tell you, it remembers your conversations also. So they vectorize your conversations and keep it safe. So when you ask questions, they know what you have asked previously as well. So it's getting customized to you. So myth and the reality. AI thinks and understands like human, not yet so until the AGI comes through. So artificial general intelligence, that is where the AI is heading now, where when the AGI comes through to that kind of a body, then you would not feel the difference, and you might not even know whether it's a humanoid or it's a human or a AI bot. You might not feel the difference. AI is always accurate and object. No, AI does hallucinate sometimes. So because of that, you can't say it's always accurate. AI will simply replace jobs wholesale. No, some jobs will be replaced. Repetitive jobs will be replaced. Specialized jobs will be replaced. Specialized repetitive jobs will be replaced with time. But jobs that are needing unique decision-making abilities will remain. So you need to be a coder to use AI? No, you don't need to be a coder to use AI these days. I come from a development background, so I used to be a developer, and I know how hard it is to get a software done. So when I was at Sampath Bank, when I was developing softwares, it took 2.5 months to make a document scanning solution. So if you tell me now in the morning, I can get it done in the evening with Claude. That fast. Better than that. Better than the UIs and the code I had back in the days. So now, yes, you don't need to have, you don't need to be a super coder. So this is the next topic, another catchword, vibe coding. So what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is something that you don't need to code yourself. Especially this, you can experiment this at AI Studio. It's a Google solution, AI Studio. So you can vibe code. Vibe code is you just tell what you feel. I want a website to sell clothes. Can you make me one? Where I have a backend to upload the images, etc., etc. You get the website developed in like 5-6 minutes. You can get it developed, and you can publish it within 2 minutes. So this is something that. So actually, this is something that happened interestingly. So my son was always asking to play the PS4. So I said, no, you're not going to play PS4 today. You're going to do something interesting. And I said, okay, what do you? So I said, just do something AI. So then I gave this AI studio to him, and I said, you think of something and ask for anything from the studio. So within 10 minutes, he developed this game. So even for my amaze, it took him only 10 minutes to understand the platform, give the instructions, and get a game like this done within 10 minutes. So using AI Studio, Google AI Studio, he developed this game in 10 minutes. A 10-year-old son. So if a 10-year-old can code like this in this era, yes, learning coding is good, because when you develop very complicated systems, you need to learn code, because you need to find bugs, very specific bugs or those kind of things. Yes, you need to know the ABCs. Learn that, definitely need to learn that, but not to learn to an extent level of coding. Because currently, if you know the ABCs, then afterwards you don't need to know the rest of the letters, because you understand the basics. So why does AI matters? So because AI is used in financials, healthcare, retail, e-commerce, manufacturing, education, government. So basically, for example, in financials, fraud detection, risk scoring, customer insight. So risk scoring now, even if you don't know yourselves, a lot of banks are getting these risk scoring systems into their core banking system. For example, if you apply for a loan, it will grab the your risk score and then check the other peripheral inputs. So basically, even check your social media. I mean, currently I don't think the banks do, but yes, you still can do and get a 360 view of your risk appetite, whether we should give the loan to that customer or not. So likewise, even in healthcare, so personalized treatments. So especially in healthcare now, AI is moving in healthcare where they try to understand, and especially this one of these Chinese kids has 15-year-old kid. He has developed a device which finds that I think autism. If you take a picture of the eye of someone, he can 90% say whether the kid has autism or not. So you don't need to have a lot of testing done. He has developed something like that through AI. So a lot of things, a lot of good things are coming out of AI as well. So yeah. So in Sri Lanka, what you have already experienced and what you might not experience is, so you have the chatbots, you have the digital eKYC. So a lot of things, front end, it would be very smooth. You just upload the images and open the account quickly. But in the back end, digital eKYC is, you have a lot of AI processes going on, and like liveliness detections, checking videos against your images, face matching. A lot of things are happening in the backend. And fraud detection, of course, AI voice assistant, document processing. So back in the days, document processing, you will have to scan, and if somebody asks someone a question about a document or maybe a legal point, the lawyer will have to go and read all the documents and give answer. Now you ingest, you say RAG, retrieval augmented generation, you can RAG the document into the model and retrieve data from that document. Easily you can retrieve any data. And credit scoring, as I mentioned, credit scoring. Personalized banking, where this is where the banks are heading at. Now you can see a lot of banks coming into PWM, private wealth management. So in the future of banking, there will be two segments. You will see two main segments. One segment will be retail, where you can download the app, you can have the balancers and do the safe transfers and basic SMS updates and all those stuff. Then you have the PWM, private wealth management clients, who are the top-notch 5 to 10%, where the banks are trying to get. Those will be given personalized banking services, maybe even with the AI avatar. Like you have a person talking on the other side, a virtual person talking on the other side, catering to that customer. So that is where the future is heading. I think China, they have done this. I think some of you might have seen the video. The other end is like a WhatsApp call, but actually it's an AI model running at the other end, talking to you, and you are conversing with that model, but you don't even feel the background of them. The model is also realistic. Like she is driving she's like driving to home. That kind of scenarios they are making. So you feel that you're conversing with a person, but no, it's AI model running and giving a personalized banking service.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How can I help you today?
What has keys but cannot open locks?
That's a classic riddle. The answer is a keyboard.
No, it's a piano.
Ah, you're right. A piano has keys, but it can't open locks. Good one.
Now it's your turn to ask me a question.
All right, here's one for you. What has to be broken before you can use it?
It's an egg.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay, it's too late. I have to sleep.
All right, get some rest. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
嘿，你也在啊，正好。
磕 CP 这个事情你怎么看？
磕 CP 嘛，自己开心最重要。
最近娱乐圈的八卦挺多的。
娱乐圈八卦全当消遣。
周星驰的功夫你看过吗？你觉得咋样？
功夫太牛了，喜剧天花板。
你会学周星驰的笑吗？来一个。
哈哈哈哈，这笑容有没有神似？
And cybersecurity, of course, that is in the forefront. So basically, I attended the meeting at cybersecurity forum. Currently, in cybersecurity, previously it was hackers versus hackers, where hackers come in and hack, and then the security teams comes in, identifies the threat, and then try to block it off. Now it's AI versus AI, where the AI model comes in with so much of agents, like 1,000 agents, trying to hack your system in 1,000 ways, all at once. And then on the other side, defenders are also the AI agents who's trying to defend that system. So right now it's about computer speed. The hacking is now relegated to computer speed. If the computer is fast, the hacking is fast. So that fast, the cybersecurity arena is moving. That's why the CISOs are having a huge demand in the market. Chief Information Security Officers are having a huge demand in the market because the security aspects in the BFSI sector is climbing so fast. So this is something you can take away, where what kind of tools you need to have. So I personally have GPT and Claude bought by myself. This is like $7, $6 per month, 1,800. It's a bit expensive, which I bought like five months back. It's like $20. But because I do coding still, I use Claude for coding, mostly coding. ChatGPT for general item. Copilot, we have been given at office to use Copilot. So basically, if you're using Copilot, it's best for office work because it integrates with the Microsoft solutions. So if you work with Excel, Word, and all those stuff, if you have a Copilot license, you can leverage on the advantage of AI using Copilot. GPT, of course, general work. So you would not believe all these slides are developed by GPT. So what I give the idea, I give the content, and I say, create a slide like this. There's about 87 slides, but about 60 of the slides are made by GPT. where I give the idea and it creates the slides. So Claude is for mainly more academical side of things. If you want to make a software solution, or if you want to go deep into some topic, because the context window in Claude is so high that it can, for example, let's say if I ask GPT a question, it will answer me back. But Claude, if I ask a question, it will ask itself the next question, the next question, the next question, and give a better answer at the end. So the ability to question itself is higher in Claude. So where we left off, AI is taking over. So now we come into the focus area of leadership. Not yet leadership, but what I promised you. The areas that AI still can't do for you. So these are the things that you must take into your head, because AI is still not so good at this. So decide, connect, judge, adapt. So decision making. So what it looks like, choosing between two AI recommended strategies when the data disagrees. So sometimes the data might disagree and you have a gut feeling that, no, this is the right thing to do. So then decision making is up to you, and you override the AI data, because sometimes, for example, if you take financial markets, if everybody takes the AI recommendation and follows that, nobody will earn a lot of money, because everybody will be following the same pattern. So sometimes if you feel like, no, even though the masses are going that way, even so the AI is telling this looks like a different kind of investment which I should do. Sometimes it works, because that is the intuition you have, decision-making ability you have, then AI. And deciding when to trust the model and when to override it, because sometimes AI hallucinates. For example, when I was doing my MBA, when I was doing some research, some of the things when I read what AI has said, I said, no, this can't be true. They said, yes, my bad. This is wrong. I'm sorry. Because I caught it, it said it was wrong. Otherwise, I would have sent it out. Read it, maybe paraphrase it, and then add my own things, send it out, but it's completely wrong. But when you read it, it's very compelling that you feel it's correct. But it's not. Sometimes the lecturers who marks it will mark it correct, because the way the AI words it, it's so fabulous that you think it's correct. That you think that you are wrong. But actually, the facts are wrong. So owning the outcome either way. So AI doesn't earn the outcome. So if you put an AI model and, for example, if you put a chatbot and if the chatbot gives a wrong answer, the customer can't come and say it's AI fault, and the bank can't say it's not us, it's the AI bot. It's the bank has to answer. The bank is answerable. So likewise, owning the outcome. So you will own the outcome. So there will always be a person who will own the outcome. So emotional intelligence. So what it looks like, sensing when a teammate is disengaged before performance drops. So like when you work together, like when you even come to class, when you know when someone is off, when he walks in, when you feel that, like he's not energized so much, then you will go and ask, you ask. So that is emotional intelligence, you quickly grab these things. AI still can't go to that level. And delivering hard feedbacks that people can actually hear. Sometimes AI is so hard, and the people who can take it directly, and the people who you have to deliver it very slowly. So they will listen and they will know, yes, this guy is saying like this because I need to correct myself. I understand. And you shake hands and go. But if a gentle, like a soft-hearted person comes in and if you give it directly, then that person might quit the next day. So that kind of intelligence AI doesn't have. Building trust that no dashboard can measure. So building trust. So I'll show a clip at the very end, how you build trust and how you make followers without having authoritative power. I'll showcase that. So ethical judgments, so questioning an AI recommendation that quietly disadvantages a group. So AI, it's like this. The models are developed feeding data. For example, let's say OpenAI GPT model, the outcomes would be more like American-styled outcomes, tuned to mostly like a European American feel. But for example, let's say in America, if the business is down, you send people out, you send people home. But in Sri Lanka, that's the feel. You don't send people home all of a sudden. So that kind of ethical judgment AI can't make. AI would say, when you look at the P&L, send 500 out, keep this 250, you can now downscale and run. So no, so ethics plays a vital role. AI can't make the decisions. And also you have to set the boundaries on how to use the data. Because, for example, never ever upload any sensitive data to GPT or Claude or Gemini. Remember what I told you? When I ask a question, it says, because you said this 1 week back, 2 weeks back, 1 month back, etc., etc. Just imagine if you say something that is very personal and it replies to you saying, you said something like this back in the time, remember? So it means that it remembers what you have said. The dangerous part is if you upload something very personal and in the next iteration, when they train, if they train that data into the LLM and then somebody asks a question about you, that data can be pulled and shown to the person who is asking anywhere in the world. So make sure you don't upload any sensitive or personal data into the LLMs. So in our banks, we use DLP policies, data loss prevention policies. You can't upload at the point of upload. We capture the data and keep it safe. So those kind of things are there in software mode. So adaptability. So as I said, learning, unlearning, then adapting. Because currently for AI, the current AI models, what you have is you have something, you feed data, it learns out of data, and it predicts. But for humans, you can quickly unlearn something. For AI models, if you need to unlearn, then you have to have another mechanism. Either you get a new model, don't feed the other data you don't want to feed, then run it again and make a new model. Or else you have to have a huge process removing that data. But for you, if I say not to eat ice cream from tomorrow onwards, you will not eat ice cream tomorrow onwards. But for AI model, which is trained to eat ice cream, you'll have to build another AI model or maybe give a lot of specific instructions to change that. So adaptability still, humans can adapt very faster. So these are some of the things you can do actually on your own. For example, landing an internship. So let's say you are one of the 200 applicants who is applying for a job after like 1 year, 2 years time. So how do you get the edge? So for example, so other people will just have a good suit and go for interviews and say, my CV is this, I had 8 Ds, 3 Cs, I went to CIC, got the degree, so this is me, my school is this, hire me. So another person who would use Claude or GPT, you don't have to have a paid version. These text-based versions are free. Yeah? You don't need to pay. So you let's say you're going for an interview at Sampath Bank. You know what I would do? I would go to Colombo Stock Exchange, download the last 3 annual reports, upload it into Claude, and ask, I am so and so going for interview at Sampath Bank at internship. Tell me the things I need to know about Sampath Bank and how should I, if they ask me, what do you know about Sampath Bank? What should I tell? You just type it in. You get ready-made list of things. It will say Sampath Bank had profited this much, ABC Bank profited this much, your branch network is this much, ATM is this much, your vision is this, and this is what I can bring in as value. Because more you converse, the model knows more about you, and it will also bring in those elements and say you have this kind of a background, etc., etc. And that is how you make the pitch. So that is how you get an edge on your first job. So you leverage on AI, and even if you're having a job on the next jump, that is how you leverage. Otherwise, back in the days, people used to go through all the annual reports, read chairman's message, everything. Still, it will take days, and the interview might not even work out. So here, 5-10 minutes, you are ready to go. So next one, coursework. So especially for you guys. So it's not to cheat, it's to learn. So you have to have that definition in your head, like not to cheat using AI, because end of the day, as I said, you need to know the basics. Definitely you need to know the basics. So for example, you can ask the AI to, so let's say you have given an assignment to do a concept paper. So you ask AI, explain the concept in different ways, generate practical problems, give me quick Q&A answers, what the panel might ask me on this theory. Can you find the gaps? Can you fill that gap? Can you develop it better? So we'll do a practical session on this as well. So likewise, you iterate with AI and get a better output, then learn it. Especially if you're having a written exam, you learn the summary, then get ready for the exam easily. So that is something you can easily do by leveraging AI and saving a lot of time. You can save a lot of time. You have to be a bit creative. Let's say they give a printed 5-pager. What I would do is I'll take 5 photos of it, upload the 5 photos, convert it to text, or even from those 5 photos, I will say give the summary, etc., 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 create the content. So first job, for example, so this is a situational thing. You go to so this is actually practical. This could practically happen. Like when you are a very junior person and coming into a workforce, for you, yes, it's the first job and it's very important. But for the head, for the divisional head, which even would recommend you for promotions, might not have the time to spend with you or explain things to you. But that person might give you assignments vaguely. That person might give you assignments saying, can you take a look at this document and do something? Or maybe because there are so many software developers, let's say the software company might say, can you look at this software? Can you look at this flow, this process flow, and come back to me looking at this flow. So now you know the flow, the basic flow. You feed the flow to the Claude or GPT and say, this is the flow, this is the initiative, etc., etc. Make it better. What is missing? Can you draft a proposal? Then you go with that to the head and present. This is what I think. I used AI. First thing, admit that you used AI. That gives you a lot of credibility because that shows your honesty. Openly say, I use AI tools to make things better and to get quick results. But I validate the outcome and I own the results. So even though I generate these things using AI, what I present, I own. If it's correct or wrong, it's on me, not on AI. So leading with AI. So as I said, you can widen the decision making before you take a decision on anything. Even maybe before you are marrying your partner. Widen the decision making. Ask the questions. Before a big call, ask the questions. These are the facts. What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the pros and cons I haven't mentioned? What are the possibilities? So you can make the conversation bigger. Most of the time, like when I had to make very difficult conversations, I chat with AI and I get so much of insights that makes me a better matured person. So you must use AI and have a broader view of things. And you can stress test a plan. For example, let's say if you're doing something, technical or non-technical, you have a plan. For example, let's say somebody wants to open a shop at Dehiwala Junction. You have a 80,000 small box to do something. You think of selling cupcakes. You stress test it. You ask how many shops were previously there around that area. What are the ratings those shops already have? What kind of sales do you think those shops has? What is the customer base like? What would be the cost and the profits? What would be the net margin? So all those things, transportation costs, tax, you can stress test before you go live. You can stress test a lot of good things on your plan. Do that before you jump into the water. And spotting blind. So spotting the blind spots. So definitely the AI will tell you, you have missed this point. Please look into it. So it is also something you can do. So draft hard conversations. As I said previously, to draft, to get ready to a important discussion, draft it, have a chat, get ready, don't go blindly, be prepared and go for the conversation. So use AI to invest. So if you have a team, so you don't need to actually tell your team all the things, but if you have a team, you can create a personalized growth plans for them. Okay, so that it will free up their time. So if somebody is doing something repetitive or something like that, you can look at automating and then freeing that person to do something more important. Likewise, spotting skill gaps. So very easy. Like even if you upload a CV and tell this person is doing these kind of things, this is CV, what are the gaps? Obviously, it will tell that this person should have this kind of a training, etc., etc. So very easy stuff. So 4 guardrails. So never let it decide. Never let AI decide the final decision. Don't let it take the final decision. You always take it. You own it. So don't let AI decide. Verify before you trust, because sometimes AI hallucinates. Don't believe everything that AI tells. Verify it. Disclose that you're using it. Protect valuable sensitive information. As I said before, protect your information. So when you look at these 4 areas, decision making. So any of you who has used AI to ask questions about the decision that you has to take before you took the decision within the last month? Anyone? Anyone who has run your mind through AI before you take a decision? Maybe why choose CIC or other entities? So when you start joining, so have you asked the hard questions? Like, why should I do this? Why should I do what kind of a course should I choose? I am more interested in AI. Should I choose the AI, or should I choose software developing, or should I just choose some other legal or some other kind of a topic? Nobody has used. Anyone? No? Few. Hard conversations? Anybody? No? You should. So developing yourself. Has anybody asked, at least has anybody uploaded your CV and asked, this is the job market in the future, this is the CV, this is going to be mine. What do you see? What would be the gap? Has anybody asked that question? You should. And pressure test the strategy. So you should use, I believe that most are not using it so much, and you need to understand these things are free. Like GPT allows you to create like three free images, and it allows you to upload documents and ask questions. So those are free. Use them. If you're using heavily, you go to the paid version. But I don't think you need to actually. Jensen, the NVIDIA CEO. So this is very interesting. Listen to this. What he talks about. Who is a smart person? So he talks about who is a smart person in the future.
Who's the smartest person you've ever met?
The definition of smart is very different than most people think. Everybody thought software programming is the ultimate smart profession. Look, what is the first thing that AI is solving? Software programming. The definition of smart is somebody who's intelligent, solve problems, technical. But I find that that's a commodity. And we're about to prove that artificial intelligence is able to handle that part easiest. My personal definition of smart is someone who sits at that intersection of being technically astute, but human empathy and having the ability to infer the unspoken, around the corners, the unknowables. That, I think, that's smart. That, I think, is going to be the future definition of smart. And that person might actually score horribly on the SAT.
Yeah, so what he's saying is that person might not have all the knowledge, but if that person is tech savvy, and that is why he's stumbling, because some of the things we humans have, we can't put into words. Sometimes when you try to say something to a person very close to you, you don't know the words to tell this thing, but you can make them feel what you feel. So that is what he's saying, that a person should be technically savvy and should have those human qualities. That is the person who will be smart in the future, having both. So choose a career path in AI, shifting job market. This is a very important slide to you guys. So when you take a job, always look, does this role involve judgment calls with real consequences? Because if there are real consequences, AI will come late into the equation, because it will always be a human who would take the decision. So if your job has real consequences, that job will be safe for somewhat of time, because AI won't replace that. Number two, does it require building trust or relationships with people? So I don't think Sri Lanka, if you're traveling abroad, it might be a bit, it might come soon. But in Sri Lanka, you won't see, like droids walking around very soon. Maybe the other one, what you call, the robo droid, the robo one they have showed, it's like a walking robot. So that's the closest we have ever come. So if that job is about building trust, relationship. For example, I'll give you a good example. These days in the banking market, there's a huge headhunting going on for PWM managers, private wealth managers. Because why? Because all the wealthy people will not talk to an AI model and invest. They want a person who they trust to invest their money in the bank. For them, it's not the bank does matter, but for them, it's the service and the trust that person is providing. So if you are in the business of creating trust and relationships, it will not go out. It will be there. Does it involve navigating ambiguity, not just following a process? Like, automatically automate වෙනවා. But every day if something is different, every day if it's a different thing, your job is safe, a lot safe. Would I be directly detecting AI tools or purely competing with them. So you have to say whether you are using AI tools or you are competing against the AI tools. So if the job is competing against AI tools, I would not recommend to have that job. If the job is using AI tools for the advantage of that job, it's a good job. So use it visibly, not secretly. Show your reasoning. You have to show the reason why you chose it. Pick one tool, as I said. Now, for me, I use GPT, Claude, Copilot, and I use Python to code. So for me, it's like 4 or 5 topics, tools. So you can't go deep on everything. Just try to master around 4 to 5 technologies, 4 to 5 at least catchwords. If you're not a techie guy, try to learn about 2, 3, 4 items. Try to learn about that. YouTube it, Google it. Every morning I work out every morning. I get up around 4:45. I work out until like 6 in the morning. So what I do is at that time I put YouTube videos on AI, on leadership. So that hour is what compounds over time in aspect of knowledge. I don't go to special classes or anything like that. That is the hour I gain the advantage over others in knowledge. So communication, critical thinking, collaboration, curiosity. So these qualities, no matter what AI does, you should brush on these qualities because they are important. So this is a fun slide which I made, which I think would happen very soon. This is to off balance the AI impact. Let's say the droids are coming, and all of that stuff. So anybody heard about Neuralink? Neuralink? Yes. So you know that it's a small implant where you make a small hole in the brain and send some strings into the areas of the brain where those strings can read your brain. So basically, currently what you can do is, if that part will be here like a hearing aid, it will be stuck here and the codes will be going into your brain. And this part, Bluetooth connected to your phone. So if you think, take a call to Amma, when you think, the call goes. So currently it's at that stage. What you think, it will happen on the phone. So Neuralink is like that. Currently it's at that level, but when they break the barrier of two-way communication, currently it hears the brain and does what the brain tells, but it cannot tell back to the brain what is happening. But if the at the time Neuralink works both ways, it will be amazing. You will be an upgraded human. Everybody would want that upgrade. Like basically, if I come into CIC and say I'll teach law, I'll confidently say I'll teach law. Why? Automatically I can get the information I want to pitch to the students. And the students will think, I'll get the implant myself. Definitely we are heading towards this kind of a era on knowledge where you embed and you work both ways on the knowledge. Yeah, this is how small it is, very small. Next. Thank you. So AI for today is done. So we'll go to my favorite topic, leadership. So when you take leadership, this is a topic where you need to learn. This is never going to be touched by AI. I mean, AI will learn leadership, but this is the qualities you need to have as a human being. Even though you lead or you follow, you need to have these qualities when you grow up. Because I know, like if I was sitting in that seat, I would say, looking at myself right now, I would say, what is he talking about? We are in a different era. The future is going to be different. No, these things, as long as humans are in this world, you will need to have these qualities in you if you are to excel in your careers, in life. So have a good look, listen well on what these are. So I'm not trying to talk a lot because I have put a certain amount of videos because these are great legends that I follow. I haven't put everyone, but I have put certain things so that you will understand. After every clip, I will explain what you need to have. So some of the things you will feel like, yes, I already have it. But if you really ask the question from yourself, you might not execute those qualities. You know that it has to happen. You know that it has to be done, but you might not be executing. So make sure you get this to your heart and execute. And as the previous speaker said, that like I don't even remember and I don't keep track of the things I achieve. For me, every day starts at 0. So every day you try to gain something new, you try to achieve higher. So that is how you achieve more and more every day. Not to have the medal case on your chest and showcase that, but you start at 0 every day. And then you push yourself. So we'll have one by one clips. I hope you get these things into your head and be a better person in life. So what is leadership? So why I put that box is because a lot of leaders forget that box. Leadership is the ability to guide, influence, and inspire individuals or groups towards achieving a shared goal or a vision. Most people do the top part. They guide, they influence, they inspire individuals or groups to their own vision or their own goals. So not to the shared vision or goals. So the people who are famous, who are admired by the masses, are the people who have done and gone through for shared goals and vision. For example, it can be a small group. It can be your class, your team, your class, your school, your society, your company. So you have to have the shared goal and the vision. So don't make it personal as a leader, make it a shared goal. So leadership styles, I'll quickly go through. If you don't know the leadership styles, these are the main top leadership styles. These are important for you to learn because you will be using any mix of these any day. So you have the autocratic, so that is Ekadipati, so king, like a king, you rule. Democratic, so it is where you get the consensus. Laissez-faire is the delegator. You delegate as a leader, you delegate. You like, but sure me set I know that they will get it done. Then you have the transformational. So you coming with a vision and you transform a place like the Jensen in NVIDIA, the biggest valuable company in the world. So he transformed. And transactional. Transaction leadership is basically where you say, make a karot, make a hambino. Make a karot padi hambino, make karot bonus hambino. Karinetta? No. That's it. Very clear. That's what you and me is doing. So that is transactional leadership. Servant leadership is different, where you care for people and you take care of the people under you. So you make sure they are well kept. There's no issues with them. They have the proper equipment. They are working safe. They are working happily. That is servant leadership. And situational is where, according to the situation, you take decisions. If somebody asks, what is his style? You say, he's situational. He doesn't have a style. He's not a autocratic. He's not a democratic. Ekadipati kutne Pajatantravadi kutne he goes all over the place. Then you have the coaching, benevolent. So it's like father son. You coach the person as one of your own children. You care for them truly you care for him. You truly care for them. You coach that person. Let's do something like this. We'll do the exams. We'll finish it off. You hit these targets. I'll recommend you for promotions. You coach them. You groom them. So you mentor them. Then you have the bureaucratic. Bureaucratic is very rule-based. Yanna barina, yanna bay, you can't go. If it's yes, yes, there's no middle ground. Very rule-based. Then charismatic. Charismatic is where when the person comes into the, like even certain personalities in Sri Lanka, when they walk in, people feel something, some energy in the room. Like that guy's there. Like when he's there, you feel the charisma. It's like a thing that you feel, like an aura around that person. Like that is charismatic. So famous people, I didn't use Sri Lankans. These are famous people. So autocratic. Elon Musk is very autocratic. He decides. So very famous case, yeah, SpaceX. If the last rocket didn't launch properly, the SpaceX would have been bankrupt. But still, he took the decision as autocrat. He went through. Luckily, the rocket landed back properly. So he's autocratic. So Satya Nadella, Microsoft. So he's democratic. So he talks to people, takes collaborative decisions. Richard Branson, Virgin Group. So let's say he believes in people. He believes in taking care of people under him and trusting them with the work he gives. So he trusts them. Jensen, so he's a transformational leader who has a vision, long-term vision, and he comes in with the vision and gets the team towards that goal. So Gordon Ramsay, so that is transactional. You do well, I'll pass you to the next round. If you do a bad dish, you're home. You go home. So Ratan Tata, servant leadership. So he's famous for caring about his employees. He takes care of his employees, and he believes that if you take care of the employees will take care of the company and the company performance. So Sundar Pichai is situational. So he takes decisions based on the situation. And Bill Campbell, a famous coaching person. So his thing is to mentor and coach people to the next level. Bureaucratic examples, the Japanese companies. So they have strict rules, very strong rules and regulations. So that is their culture. So depending on the culture, so bureaucratic. Charismatic, Steve Jobs. So charismatic leaders. So when they come in, you know that something is going to happen. Some special thing is going to happen. So why I told you these styles and about these people, study them because they are very important for you. Like in other, it's not right now, but as soon as you reach the C level, the chief level of a company, you need more of these skills than the technical skills. Because these are the skills that you need to work with people. Leadership skills. So you have basically main top 10 areas. Now you have to, let's understand it as a buffet. Now you have to choose, what are you going to eat? Are you going to eat only spaghetti or somewhat of spaghetti and some meatballs, maybe salad? So likewise, when you are a leader, you have to, with time, sometimes you might start as autocratic. So, in under 17, in Nalanda, he was the under 17 A division champions. I was the under 17 A division best player. Under 18, we were the Colombo champs. I was the best player. You know what they called me? They called me Hitler. They called me Hitler. Because I was so autocratic. If I say something, it has to be done. Nobody questions me. But good thing I took good decisions and I didn't make any bad decisions. But now I understand it's a bit dangerous, no, not a lot dangerous, because sometimes autocratic leader doesn't see all the angles. Like now being a matured person, I understand that for me, winning might be the only thing. For another person, it might be a recreational thing where he wants to get fit and be in a group. That is something for the guys. For me, as an autocratic leader back then, only winning was there. But now I understand that no, you have different people have different aspirations, different targets, different things. So you have to choose very carefully what kind of a leadership style you are going to pick. And it's not going to be one, definitely. So now if you take me, I'm a coach, I'm a coaching leader, I'm a servant leader, I'm a democratic leader, I mostly I'm laissez-faire, and I try to transform and bring a vision and charisma is built over time. It doesn't, like build overnight. It's something you have to work with, like all the famous people. If you talk about all the famous people, they weren't stars overnight. They have been at it for ages and they have built their rapport to have that charisma. So these leadership styles, you have to choose. So when you climb the ladder, when you climb the corporate ladder, you'll understand that you need to mold yourself into these leadership styles. And maybe depending on the group, it could be different. Like if I have been trusted with little kids to do a task, I'll be very autocratic. I'll say, guys, come, let's do this. But if I am being trusted with a group of same peers, I will ask, guys, what do you think about this? Shall we do this? So depending on the situation also, we have to choose the leadership styles we are using. So make sure you understand these styles and use them according to the situation and the team to be a good leader. So you understand, because back in the days nobody was there to tell me these things. That is why I get so fascinated. How come some people are so great at leading and some are not so great at leading? What is there? I wanted to find out. So these are the styles that I learned that I'm sharing with you, that you need to bring in to learn these aspects and have your own mix. And also one other thing. So autocratic, that it's like one person ruling. Democratic is something else, where everybody gets together. But don't swing drastically between the styles. The person who is following you gets so confused. Like he would say, yesterday it was do this, now. Today it's what do you think? So the person who is following you gets so confused. So he would get used to a way that, okay, boss kiwot karana mena natham belum mahane guti karna ekaparan boss ahana මොකක්ද හිතන්නේ මේක ගැන. Now he thinks whether it's a trick question. මම trick question එකක් දන්නේ අහන්නේ හැමදාම කරන්න කියනවා. අද අහනවා මොකක්ද, what do you think? So make sure if you're shifting your styles, leadership styles, which are totally at the two ends of the spectrums, shift it slowly. Don't do it drastically overnight because the followers gets confused. So good leaders have these qualities. I'll play some videos because these are coming out of great personalities I follow currently. So let's listen to some of them. So leadership is not a rank. Leadership is not a rank or position. Leadership is a skill that you grow. So it's a skill that you grow. All of a sudden, let's say, Panthi Nayakya kila karano. But will the kids follow you? Because you are the class leader, because you are given the authority, yes, they will listen to you. But will they follow you after school? Will they follow you after you leave the school? So that is the big question. Like even if you don't have that written authoritative power, you can still be a leader and people will follow you.
Too many people think leadership is a rank or a position, that once you get promoted, now you're a leader. No, now you have a leadership position, but whether you are a leader or not is yet to be seen. And I think leadership is a skill like any other, and to get good leaders, you have to teach the skill. Some will have the opportunity to learn it through struggle or through the model of others, but every single one of us can learn to be a leader. I think of it like a capacity. Like everybody has the capacity to be a parent, but doesn't mean everybody should be a parent and doesn't mean everybody wants to be a parent. It's the same with leadership. Everyone has the capacity to be a leader. It doesn't mean everyone should be a leader, and it doesn't mean everybody wants to be a leader. Because, like a parent, It comes with a responsibility for other human beings, and sometimes at personal sacrifice.
Yeah, definitely. Responsibility and personal sacrifice. It takes a lot out of you if you really care. I personally know that. If you really care for a set of people, it consumes you sometimes. Sometimes you worry for them too much that you might not have a good night rest. You might not have a good sleep. That's why I say personal sacrifices. You will have to make personal sacrifices if you really take care of the people. So mindset. So even though you have authority, people need to listen to you.
Leadership is a choice. It is not a rank. I know many people at the senior-most levels of organizations who are absolutely not leaders. They are authorities, and we do what they say because they have authority over us, but we would not follow them. And I know many people who are at the bottoms of organizations who have no authority, and they are absolutely leaders. And this is because they have chosen to look after the person to the left of them, and they have chosen to look after the person to the right of them. This is what a leader is.
Okay, dedication. I actually sent this slide to Malinka himself, saying that you're going to be there in the slides, and he's like, so this is something he said on a FB post. Amaru ne yokas lesi purdunot. Amaru ne yokas lesi purdun. Purduwane ka tamai hitaganna behari mahansiyak wenna ona tena. So he's talking about dedication. Commitment and dedication. So,
well, he's only been hit for one boundary in the Big Bash so far. The Sixers are going to need at least 3 or 4, you'd imagine, in these 2 Malinga overs.
To get that done, can you imagine how much of time he must have spent on the nets? I used to play cricket. I used to keep a small handkerchief. Our coaches say, put a small handkerchief, ball to the handkerchief. So if the handkerchief goes popped, it means the ball has hit the handkerchief, then you're on the spot. So can you imagine how much of time he has spent training that? So you need to have dedication as a leader. You need to be dedicative and commitment and consistency. So this is another clip on commitment.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. Clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit. Or, if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two, but if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency.
Consistency. So you have to be consistent. So it means that even if you feel it's an off day, you still get up. I even had a clip on Cristiano. So he also says that somebody asked, what is the hardest thing? He said, being consistent. So this is one of my favorite clips. It's a bit long, but I believe it will give a lot of insights to you.
Imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4, you go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, relax, and now you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4.
Kobe had a dark side, and you could see it in his game. And it's what attracted you to it. It's what made him a great player.
I guarded Kobe in the garden. The fourth quarter start, and Kobe said, you had a great game. I swear I looked at the clock like, it's 12 minutes, what you talking about?
I had to separate myself. Because going through that time, it felt like there's so many things coming at once. It was just becoming very, very confusing. I had to organize things. So I created the Black Mamba.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. Kobe has to deal with these issues, all the personal challenges. The Black Mamba steps on the court and does what he does. I'm destroying everybody that stepped on the court.
Kobe Bryant doesn't sit there and talk about how many MVPs he's won or how many championships he's won. No, he's up at 3 o'clock in the morning practicing every day. Why do you think he is so great? He's not great because he's great. He's great because he puts the work in on a daily basis and he wins every day.
These are choices. Like I made a conscious choice to go after my passion obsessively. Like, it's a conscious decision. So it's not like he missed out on that, he missed out on that. Like, no, I made a choice to consciously miss out on those things because I'd much rather be here.
It's more about the sacrifice, I guess, is the question.
But that's my point. It's not a sacrifice to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a sacrifice. Like, this is my choice. Like, I'd rather do this. Like, if you put a bowl of ice cream in front of the kid and a plate of broccoli, the kid's probably gonna eat the ice cream, right? And so to me, the game is the ice cream. To some people on the outside, all this hard work looks like broccoli. I don't care. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? We're all people here. We're just different people. You're gonna criticize me because I don't wanna go to a bar? You're gonna criticize me because I don't wanna go to a club? For what? What growth can I get from that? It's a simple thing of math. If you wanna be a great player, if you play every single day, 2-3 hours, every single day, over the course of a year, how much better are you getting? Most kids will play maybe, an hour and a half, 2 days a week. Do the math on that. It's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. So if you're obsessively training 2-3 hours every single day over a year, over 2 years, you're accelerating. You make quantum leaps, man. And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
So you see the compounding effect. What he does every day, he adds on to his game where his competitors or peers doesn't do. So that is how he compounds his game and how he elevates himself as a basketball player, and in life also the same thing. If you want to learn, if you want to study, if you want to be at something, at your job or your career, you need to compound. So it's hard. I mean, like at your age, definitely, like so much of distractions. But as you mature, you will remember that you need to compound. So you need to be a good listener.
Here's one of the great values of listening, which is most people actually don't want the thing they ask for. Most people want to feel heard. The number of times in our lives where someone comes to us with a problem or a concern or a feeling, they state it, whether they state it well or badly, they state it, and too many of us go into fix-it mode, especially at work. I think lots of people in an executive position go into fix-it mode because they don't want disruption and they want efficiency and they want people to get back to work. And sometimes it's well-intentioned, I just want to help.
Yeah.
There are really good human leaders who just get it wrong. And very often it's just the willingness to take the time to explore what somebody's saying and where it's coming from. And at the end of that meeting, somebody go, yeah, thanks. No, I really appreciate you listening. I'm good, thanks. Mm-hmm. And it was never about the thing.
The importance of empathy. We all live in our own version of reality, a reality that is limited by our senses, our temperament, and our own experiences. It is the only reality we will ever truly know, but it is crucial to our personal development, our relationships, and to society itself that we make the effort to try and experience other people's realities as well. This is done through empathy. Simply stated, empathy is an active attempt to understand another person's perspective, their emotions, and in essence, their reality. We are social animals, and our ability to communicate and understand each other's emotional states is key to maintaining our relationships. So it is little wonder that the ability to empathize is hardwired directly into our brains.
Yes, so you need to have empathy, as I mentioned. So how does the other person feels You need to understand how the other person is feeling. That is empathy. And also you need to dream big. So this is the elephant story.
Most people don't realize how conditioned they are to respond a certain way, or that the limits are self-imposed. You may have heard stories about things like in a circus, how they train an elephant. When an elephant is just a little baby elephant, what they do is they take that little elephant and put a big giant chain on it, and the elephant tries to struggle and get around, and then pretty soon the elephant learns by conditioning it's not going to do any good to struggle anymore. It's not going to do any good to try and make something change. And gradually they can make it less of a chain, so pretty soon it's this little tiny rope that this giant elephant could rip out of the wall in a heartbeat. But it's so conditioned it doesn't even try. And a lot of us have learned to be helpless. We've learned that we have certain limits, and we don't even realize we have those limits because we perceive ourselves as being really strong. The challenge for us in our society and in our lives is we have so many limits we're not aware of that control how we think and how we feel. We have this incredible thing called a brain that no one's ever taught us how to use. It's the greatest computer on earth, and yet no one ever gave us an owner's manual.
When the elephant is small, you have the chain to it, a very small chain, and when the elephant is bigger, you still think the chain is going to hold you down. So you need to dream big, you need to break the shackles and grow yourself. Yeah. So I'll go to the final clip. This clip was very, very emotional for me. Like it's done in 1980s, but still you need to understand what is in this clip. So after that, we'll go to a practical session on AI. So this clip, I think, very important.
If you're a brave person, what they call the 4 o'clock in the morning courage, wait when things go completely to pieces, when things are the worst, when your very best deal falls apart and your rent is late and you're tired and you're sick and everybody is mad at you and your car doesn't work, then it's the person that picks themselves up and says, nothing is going to stop me. You know, the best quality in the world that you can develop is to develop the quality of being unstoppable. Develop the quality of being unstoppable. Say in yourself that no matter what life throws at me, it'll never stop me. No matter how rough it gets, I will never quit. And nothing will ever stop me. And believe me, if you decide to go for the goal in your life, you're going to get knocked down over and over and over and over again. But without those obstacles, no success is possible. Make the decision that you can be tired, you can be worn out, but nothing is ever going to stop you. Give it your best shot. It's the basis of self-esteem.
Okay. So here, very important thing, very recent one, very timely one. So I'll play this clip and try to understand. This is the team that lost, but won the people's hearts. But let's say Messi is not an authoritative person. He's not authoritatively controlling any people, but people are following you. You know why? They are following you by choice, because he inspires you. So because he inspires, they follow you. So you need to learn that, that is inspiration. So when you inspire, even like when Argentina lost, I even felt sad for Messi. I didn't knew him for he was out of my radar for so many years. But when they lost, I felt sad because how much he has put into the game and he has given to the other players. So that is, as a human being, that is very aspirational for you guys also as a person. If you can be a person like that, that is very aspirational. That is something that AI can't do. Very important thing, when you are young and when you are going for your first job, find a mentor. Now, I have 4 mentors in my career whom I still talk to, whom I still get advice, whom they still advise me. So I'm still the student, I'm still the 18-year-old guy in front of them. Same mentality, same respect. So you need to find a mentor, good mentor early in your career, then slowly move on to becoming a mentor. and then passing on the baton. So we are going to do something. We are going to do something very risky right now. Even I haven't tried this, but we'll try this anyway. It's going to be a 10 minutes session. So this example, you can apply for anything. Okay, so we'll randomly pick someone from the room and we'll do this experiment, and I'll show you what advantage you can take. So anyone here who has a business plan to start a business, or maybe a shop or something, whatever? Anyone? Yeah, come. Okay, this is not planned, huh? I don't know this gentleman.
Nusli.
Nusli.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nusli, you are working
For Microsoft.
Microsoft. So it's going to be a big challenge for me as well. So we have a expert in the room. So what we're going to do is ask him about his plan. We are going to talk with ChatGPT and see how we can bring his plan into a more real. I mean, we'll walk it through. We'll go through the plan. We'll see whether the plan is feasible or not, and then maybe we'll draft a draft. So I haven't even done this early as well, but so let's just try it out. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Can you guys hear the AI?
Absolutely. I'm right here and ready to listen.
Okay.
What's on your mind?
Okay, great.
Shall I?
Yeah. So I have Nusli with me, and we are at a conference with about 100 participants, and we want to ideate something that Nusli has. Can you help on that?
I'd love to help you both brainstorm. Tell me a little more about what kinds of ideas you're hoping to generate. Are you solving a problem, launching something new, or something else entirely?
Hi, so my business is into food and beverages. So I'm particularly following some steps. What are the regulations need to follow in Sri Lanka? Actually, I have registered in Sri Lanka as a Sri Lanka tea. So it's related to tea industry in Sri Lanka. And nowadays I am researching about the tea industry, how it's work, how I need to follow the steps, how I need to go through the regulations, and how I need to reach the customers, and the other particular things. I am going forward with the following some SOPs and the following some steps, working with the professionals and taking ideas from them. So my plan is to launch a brand. So I have registered with the Tea Board, Sri Lanka Tea Board, and they have given me approval to launch my product all island in Sri Lanka. So
Got it. So you're thinking about a product launch strategy specifically tailored to the Sri Lankan market, and you want to map out steps to get it to customers, like distribution, partners, and promotion. Let's break it down. What's your vision for how people will first discover your keyboard?
yeah, sure. So I have designed my product. So I have categorized the product, and nowadays I am looking for the customer. How can I reach the customer? The wholesale partners and the retail partners in Sri Lanka. So I just need a guide. How can I reach the proper customers in Sri Lanka?
It's a tea-based product. It's a drink, right?
Tea-based product.
It's a drink. It's a drink, not a drink.
It's not a drink.
It's not a drink.
So it's not a tea-based product. Actually, it's a tea. Like it's a watermelon or
Okay. Tea.
Yeah, exactly.
Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Dry tea leaves. So he's into packing dry tea leaves and selling it in a different branding way. So he wants to make it unique and reach the customers. What do you think he should do?
Got it. For tea leaves, the key is storytelling. Highlight the origin, like the beautiful Sri Lankan tea heritage, and what makes his product unique. Maybe special blends or ethical sourcing. Then focus on beautiful packaging that stands out. Partner with trusted local retailers and leverage social media to tell the story. It's all about connecting with tea lovers on a personal level.
Okay, so basically, you told me how to connect. Anything else that he should look into? Like, what about the competitors? What if they try to replicate, or whether they already have this running?
Absolutely. He should look at what other tea brands are offering, what price points, flavors, or packaging styles they have. If they have a similar product, you'll want to differentiate. Maybe with a unique story, a limited edition variety, or a more sustainable angle. And he should keep an eye on how they market, so he can find his own fresh approach.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
This is something that I tried for the first time as well with the audience. So what we did was we didn't only discuss for like 5-10 minutes, and we asked the AI to give a game plan. Basically, give me an image on the plan we should do. So I'm not sure what the AI would produce, but basically this is the starting point. You ideate with AI, give the ideas and give your problems, and then ask AI to solve it, because this is a good starting point and he would get good insights which he might have missed, and he might even not realize that it was there already. So once this image comes, we'll see. I do this a lot because the easiest, it's a small hack. When you go with voice base, you can't ask the voice to give the image because voice base doesn't give the image. But as soon as you close the voice and then ask, give me an image on what to do, it will give you a plan. So product and brand foundation, then you go to market and customer research, then product development, then legal and compliance, the supply chain operations, go to market strategy, launch and scale. So it gives a starting point for you. So it gives how to reach wholesale customers, how to reach retail customers, key areas to focus. So this is on anything you do, you just go to ChatGPT, have a casual conversation, end it, then ask what you need on an image. Give me image on what we discussed. So very easy for your lecturers also. So whatever the topic you are doing, you just casually chat with the GPT. Then at the end of the chat, you say, give me an image on what we discussed on this topic. Then you use it for your research or your presentations. So easy as that. So it's a small hack, but very important, which I use daily. So use this daily to get your research and your education done. So very easy. So you just type you just check. Then you ask for the image. It gives a brilliant image. Thank you. So I'm wishing you guys all the very best. So the takeaway is, so I think the recording is there, the topics and the things you have talked must be too overwhelming today, a lot of information, but please do try to learn these things. So basically the future is bright for the person who knows about technology. You don't need to be a tech guru, but who knows about technology, how to use it, but with human compassion and the human qualities. So I wish all the very best to you guys, and you guys, so I'm 42 and you guys are like maybe 20s, must be 20s. So I think you guys are living the best time of your life. So enjoy it, live it happily, and all the very best. I hope some of you become great leaders in the future. Thank you.
Come on, guys, I think we can give a louder round of applause than that. And finally, as a token of our appreciation, I would now like to invite Mr. Mithila Abeysekera to come forward and present our token of appreciation to Mr. Mithila Abeysekera.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Thank you, Mr. Mithila. I now invite my colleague, Sania Mansoor from the Extended Diploma Batch 3 to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very warm afternoon to you all. It has been an exciting afternoon to be surrounded by such forward-thinking minds and innovative ideas. Now, as it comes to an end, it is with great gratitude that I present this vote of thanks on behalf of the Faculty of Business at Colombo International Campus. We must begin by thanking our esteemed speaker, Mr. Mithila Abeysekera, who set aside time for us today despite having a full schedule and uncountable responsibilities as the Chief Technology and Digital Officer at First Capital Holdings plc. We are immensely grateful for your generosity and time and the expertise and visions that you shared with us today. I believe I speak for all those who participated today when I say that you, sir, have provided us with an exclusive insight into the true impact of artificial intelligence on businesses. While many were led to believe that artificial intelligence would leave no room for human innovation or leadership, you have changed our perspectives with your own anecdotes of your journey from being a national basketball player to an accomplished, award-winning digital transformation leader. Every student and even staff who participated today, who listened to your words today, will continue their journey with newfound confidence. For we now know that leadership has much more to it than just skill and knowledge. Thank you, sir, for helping the leaders of the future guide themselves down a path of courage and discipline. I must also acknowledge the commitment of our directors of Colombo International Campus, Mr. Mithila Abeysekera and Mrs. Mithila Abeysekera, for it is their dedication that has made events such as this a possibility. It is their enthusiasm that gives the students of Colombo International Campus exclusive points of view into the true corporate world. So when we step into it ourselves, we would be ready to tackle anything that comes at us. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Let me also extend a thank you to our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Nishant Sembakutcharanchi, who ensured that Colombo International Campus always met the highest standards in terms of educational achievements. It is your vision and dedication that drove Colombo International Campus to the stage of academic excellence that it is at today. Thank you for that. Furthermore, the success of today's masterclass has been heavily contributed to by our staff. To our lecturers of the School of IT and the School of Life Sciences and Engineering, thank you for being the pillars that held up all the events hosted by CIC. Your dedication to this institute and its students is deeply appreciated. And to our sales and marketing team and our digital marketing team, thank you for all the time and effort that you spent brainstorming poster ideas, designing social media layouts. Look at how many people have gathered here today, and it is all thanks to you for reaching out to them in the right ways. I thank our non-academic staff just as much, for you play a role that is crucial for each event's success. Thank you. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to all those who made time to join us today. Your presence is what drives each event, and that is what makes it so impactful. An event is only as meaningful as the people who show up for it. And today, you made this masterclass come alive. Thank you for that. Before we officially conclude for the evening, I would like to remind you all that this is only the beginning, only a trailer of what other exciting and engaging events Colombo International Campus has in store for us all. The best is yet to come. Once again, on behalf of the Faculty of Business at Colombo International Campus, thank you to everyone who came together for this event. Thank you for your effort, your time, and for showing up. I wish you all a pleasant evening to Colombo.
you.